Lindsey.
Hi, Dawn. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes, Christmas is tomorrow. Are you teaching?
I am. I'm a sucker for incentives.
Good for you. I taught today. I am not teaching on Christmas, though, but I am teaching the next day. But that is a very nice incentive they are giving us.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining me and talking with me today. I'm so excited to talk with you.
Me
So,
too.
tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm a homeschool mom. That's probably my biggest role, and that's what I was doing before I started teaching online ESL. I started out I was in the Navy, and then so was my husband, and we had our first kid and decided somebody needed to be home all the time. So that was me. I was lower ranking, so I stayed home. And then when he got out, we moved across the country to his home state of Oklahoma, and I continued to stay home. We had our second kid, and we really felt it was important for them to have that strong foundation.
Sure.
And they got to school age, and it was like, why not just continue? So we homeschooled them, and while they were homeschooling, I got my bachelor's degree. It was a personal goal that I wanted to check off the list. The Navy paid for it. But
Yes.
after I got it, I never expected to use it. So I never thought I would use my degree until my son started swimming. I was waiting tables at a local restaurant in order to pay for his swim fees, but he's so good that he needed to swim more competitively. I had no idea how we were going to pay for that.
Yeah.
And I saw some saw some Facebook ads for
Yeah.
some online ESL and told myself for 6 months, that's for real teachers. That's for real teachers. That's not for somebody like me. And kept praying about it and was up one night entirely too late worrying about how to pay for swim and came across another ad, but this one was different. It was for a demo day in Dallas,
Hmm.
and it was for that Saturday. This was midnight Thursday night. I signed up. I left my house at 4 o'clock Saturday morning, drove to Dallas, Texas, and
Wow.
attended and got there and was like, ah, I might be able to do this. And signed a contract about a week and a half later. And I've
Wow.
been teaching ever since. And I love it.
How did you find out about GOGOKID?
Actually, it was on YouTube. I was contracted with VIP Kid. I was on YouTube looking for videos, constantly trying to improve and evolve my teaching, and came across the video for GoGoKid. And I'd seen videos for other companies, and nothing had ever like left me super impressed.
Right.
But after watching the video, I was like, wow, that actually looks fun. And I hadn't been having fun teaching online ESL in a while.
Mm.
So the idea of something fun, plus the video I watched was talking about a $300 bonus and subsidy pay. Like, yeah, that sounds good too. Let me try this out. And
Yeah,
I fell in love immediately.
that's awesome. That is so cool. Um, okay, so tell me, in your opinion, what do you think a good connection with a student is?
Ah, you get this feeling when you see them on your schedule and you are excited. And even if their class is the first class of the day, you log in and you are excited to see that kid, and they are just as excited to see you. All of my students are excited to see a teacher,
Yeah.
but you know that one that is super excited to see you. And when
Yes.
that feeling is mutual, you know you've got a really good connection.
That's awesome. You know what I love? When you get into the classroom, but you don't press start yet, so the student can't see you, right? But you see
Yeah.
them, and they're talking with their mom, and they're pushing their mom away, and then all of a sudden you open your camera, and their face just lights up. Just
Yes.
teacher, hi,
Yes.
and then you still see them like pushing their mom away on the side.
I have one. He is constantly practicing to say my name correctly.
Oh,
And so mom practices with him in the classroom before I, open my camera, and
yeah.
he's so diligent. And it's funny because in class he is like wild. But before that class starts, he is, "Hi, teacher Lindsey. How are you?" Over and over. And he gets this little look of concentration. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Did you have any today that were practicing saying Merry Christmas?
yes,
Me
it was the
too. Yeah.
sweetest
So
thing.
cute. They're
Yes,
practicing before you get on, right? Before you turn the camera on. I hear
yes,
the mom going, say, Merry Christmas, teacher.
yes.
Oh.
It was the cutest thing. I had a little K baby that was saying, "Merry Christmas."
So tell me about one connection you've had with a student and the effect it had on you.
Ah, one of my very first Gogo kids. I signed my contract in August, and a few days later, I had a trial with the sweetest little boy, Sun Bing. And when I got into the classroom, mom was having to physically restrain him. I'm talking like this. He is
Oh,
like dead waiting, squirming, screaming. He was screaming so loud, I had to take my headphones off.
oh my goodness.
And of course, they can't see me, so they don't know that I'm seeing all of this. But he was, no, no, did not want anything to do with sitting at a computer and taking a class. And he is like hitting mom with his toy. That woman is like, she must work out because he was pulling every 5-year-old boy trick in the book to get
Wow.
away, and she held firm. But you could tell like she was straining having to hold him. I log in, and he gets this look on his face, and he's like,
Oh,
"No, nope, done." And like it intensifies. Mom holds him steady, and 5 minutes later, she's still holding him, but not having to strain. And he's kind of laughing at me and, having a little bit of fun with me. And it just kind of progressed. And as the class went on, she had to hold him a little bit less and a little bit less.
mhm.
Now he tells her to go away if she comes in class. And she leaves me the sweetest feedback of, my son didn't want to learn English, but after his class with teacher Lindsey, he throws away his toys and snack and runs to the computer and says,
Oh,
"When is teacher coming?"
oh.
And he is my abs. I know you're not supposed to have a favorite, but he is
We
my
all do.
favorite. And I knew I had him the first time I made him fall out of his chair. It was that first trial class. He was sitting on mom's lap and he completely fell over. He almost took her with him and he was laughing so hard. And from then on, like, I know that's my kid. I know I'm going to have a good time. And the biggest thing for me was I was so burnt out on teaching and really on getting up early.
Mhm.
It's a huge struggle for me because we don't get home until late at night. I don't get a lot of sleep. I know that's like the story of an ESL teacher's life, but
Yeah.
I was really burnt out and I was not having fun teaching anymore.
Mm.
And classes with Sunfing are so fun. And I know he looks forward to them too. And there's something about getting that excited to just act like a nut. Because that's the thing with GOGOKID classes, I get to act like a complete fool.
Yes.
And my teenager and preteen are not amused,
Yeah.
but Sunfing is. And I love that. We get to have so much fun, and it's really like a play date.
Yeah.
And it has totally increased my joy in life in general. People that I don't see that often, or even I teach once a week privately, the moms and students have told me, "Wow, Mrs. Jacobs, you seem so much happier now. Like
Oh.
whatever you're doing, keep doing it because we can just see you light up now." And I had been missing that for quite a while.
That's
And it's totally like the first domino to fall was
yeah.
that trial class with Sunfing and him falling out of his chair laughing. I just knew. I'm like, I have to do this every day forever.
That is amazing. And do you still see him? Is he still a student?
I do. I had him this morning.
Oh, what a nice Christmas gift.
Yes. Yes, I have him 2 to 3 times a week.
Wow.
And now it's a circus trying to get new tricks.
Oh,
I'm the circus monkey and I have to find new things. But it's also a challenge. Like, I look at it and I get excited trying to figure out, what am I going to do today?
right.
I'm not a huge prepper. I'm not one of those people that spends hours prepping for the next day's classes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really an on-the-fly teacher. I have all of my props surrounding me in the chaos of my office,
Yeah.
but I will go on the hunt for something to make that little boy laugh.
Oh, that is awesome. How has teaching at GOGOKID made you grow as a teacher and as a person?
So we talked about how sunfing had really helped me bring joy back, but it has helped me to really let go. I am kind of an uptight, high-strung person in real life,
Yeah.
and I get to not be that with GOGOKID because I'm not having to work so hard or focus so hard. What are the objectives? What are the phonetic sounds we're learning today? What are the curriculum standards? I'm not doing any of that. I'm just having fun and engaging with the kid. And that has made me really loosen up as a person
Mm.
and helped me to maybe see the brighter side. And, we extend in the classroom, but I find myself extending and looking for more in
Mm.
everything now.
Wow.
Because it's like a habit with my GOGOKID lessons. There's always something more you can do. There's always something more you can find. And that spills over into my real life. And it has made me really just enjoy life in general so much more.
That is awesome. Okay. So what is it that you love most about teaching with GOGOKID?
Hands down, the curriculum.
Mm.
I am not a huge fan of Common Core standards, and I don't enjoy teaching phonics as a means of language acquisition
Mm-hmm.
because it's not natural. Our lessons with GOGOKID starting at K1 are hello. When you think back to your own kids or a younger brother or sister, if you didn't have kids, think about how they learned to speak English.
Mm.
It wasn't by saying things like, this is my mom.
Right.
No, they learned mom, mama first.
That's true.
They didn't speak sentences about their arm or their leg. They learned that this is an arm, this
Yeah.
is a hand. By learning arm, hand, that natural language acquisition, it makes such a difference in the long run. And having worked with bilingual individuals who are adults when I was in the Navy, you can tell the difference between the ones who grew up in a dual language environment
Mm-hmm.
and the ones who learned it as a second language.
Mm.
And the way we teach here at GOGOKID is truly a dual language environment. The kids are learning the words in a natural form the same way that they learn them as infants in their own language. I see people get frustrated because they're trying to teach a baby, a 2 or 3-year-old. But that kid is learning the same words, the same phrases in their own language, and you're giving them duality that they can't find elsewhere. And that makes for such a rich learning experience. These kids are going to grow up to think and identify things in English. They
Wow.
can't do that if they're only learning phonics and grammar rules.
That is a
But
great
they
point.
can with the way GOGOKID teaches.
Yeah.
Yes,
And you
I
know
love
what?
it.
Yeah. And you know what else I just thought of while you were saying that? When you learn when you're a child, they teach a lot with songs. When we're kids, we teach English with songs. And
Yes.
in every lesson that I've seen, there's been a song that they start with and end with that covers the content.
Well, think about your little ones that in the later K2 levels or K2 units, they're learning the alphabet.
Yeah.
If you take a letter individually, they might not identify it, but they can sing that letter song to you.
Absolutely.
Because they remember it. One of the things I do with my kids is if there is a letter in the lesson, we sing the alphabet song with flashcards. And they're going, oh, I know the words to this song. And then they're visualizing it and going, oh, I know the words to this song. And you see that light bulb go off. And after having taught a phonics heavy curriculum that is based on rules, seeing that connection in a natural way, it totally changes the way you see teaching.
That is a great point. I never even thought about. I've always loved the curriculum. I never quite knew why. And I guess that's it, just innately. It's just more natural for them.
Yes. I have my youngest son has had speech difficulties since he was a baby. And it's really not funny, but it's ironic to me how I worked so hard to learn how to teach him to speak. And I'm using those same things now. The same tools, tricks, and skills that his speech therapist taught me when he was 2 and 3 years old.
Wow.
I'm able to take those and apply those to my GOGOKID lessons because it's the same thing. I am teaching them as if I was teaching them their own native language.
Yeah. Wow. That is awesome. Okay, so Lindsey, what advice would you give someone if they're thinking about working for GOGOKID, but they're just not quite sure? They're kind of on the fence about it. Maybe they're worried it's not real, or they're worried about waking up so early in the morning. What would you tell them?
Well, my first advice to anyone would be throw your expectations out the window. It's not what you expect. I had 14 months of online ESL experience coming in, and it wasn't what I expected. GOGOKID is so different from other companies in the industry, but also it's different as a platform in general. It's not like teaching in a classroom. And if you have this mentality of what teaching is supposed to be, GOGOKID is going to shatter those barriers. It's going to completely just get rid of all of what you think it should be.
Yeah.
So my first piece of advice is throw your expectations out the window. Second, do some research. I meet teachers all the time. They're frustrated because they're struggling in this type of platform. But I ask them, well, did you watch some videos? Did you look for examples of TPR or synthetic phonics? Like, well, no. Find an example, find a mentor, find a coach, somebody who's willing to show you. Because as teachers, we have to learn too.
Great point.
And then for people who aren't sure that it's real, and I get that one a lot, like, really, you teach kids in China? Yeah. Really?
From home,
and online. And I get a lot of and the Chinese company pays you?
Yeah. Right.
Yes, they pay me well. I had somebody ask me if it was real, and I sent a picture of my son from the Junior Olympics with his 9 medals.
Oh.
Because online teaching paid for that.
Wow.
It's real.
It
is changing the lives of teachers, stay-at-home parents, all over this country. And the biggest thing is there is a mom out there who wants desperately to stay home and be with her babies, but can't figure out how. Maybe her kids are too young to work while they're awake. Online ESL is the solution for that. Because I teach before my kids get up. I mean, mine are older, but I still start and finish my teaching day before my kids get up. Yeah. I'm able to make a big impact on my family while making no impact on their lives. Yeah. It's like, how do you even do that? How do you make this big impact and change the way they live every day while having no impact on what they do?
Right.
because everything I do is while they're sleeping. I get up, I teach at 5:30, 6, 6:30, and maybe 7.
Mm-hmm.
I get my kids up at 7:30 every morning anyway, regardless of whether I'm teaching or not. And I mean, they know I've been up for 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have an effect on them. It doesn't keep me from homeschooling them. It doesn't keep me from getting my son to therapy or my other son to swim practice. It
Mm.
pays for those things and it provides those things, but it doesn't keep them from doing them.
Yeah.
And that is such a relief to my family.
It's a blessing. It really is. It's a
It is.
blessing for so many people. All right, Lindsey. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
You're
And it
welcome.
was great speaking with you.
You
And
too.
I hope you have an excellent Christmas for you and your family.
Thanks, you too. Merry Christmas, Dawn.
Thanks, Lindsey. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Oh.